project Operation Samaikhya.
Okay.
I will just share the screen in a minute.
Okay.
I hope the screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible. You have
All
some
right.
presentation as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir, it's visible. You can start the presentation.
All right, thank you. Starting last October, next slide. Starting last October, there were a series of incidents in the state of Andhra Pradesh where religious structures were vandalized, and there were thefts happening in the temples, mosques, and churches as well. So the agenda was to create a communal disturbance in the state because it being a low-cost, high-return strategy by the miscreants, because it's very easy to desecrate a very remote temple and then share the video on social media and flare up the communal tensions in the state. And there were attempts to attribute a false agenda to the newly formed government in the state. So there were a series of events that were happening all across the state, and especially Chittoor district is known for its temple, and the holy Tirumala is also located in this district. So there were a lot of ancient temples in our district as well, and they were also prone to these attacks by these miscreants. And any of these attacks could be organized, and some of them which could be sporadic, as in a local temple property theft was also shown in a light as if it is a part of the communal agenda. Next slide, please. So if you see in these pictures, these are the two major incidents that happened in our state, and that's the scenario that we could witness in one of the districts where people had come onto the roads because of the communal tensions that were prevailing back then. So in response to this challenge that was thrown at the state police, Chittoor district has risen up to the occasion, and then we launched a program called Operation Samaikhya. Next. So Operation Samaikhya, it's nothing but a community policing strategy, but a lot of innovative aspects have been integrated into this program. The program mainly rests on three structures. So the main pillar being the security of these religious structures, and second is eliciting support from the local people, local administration, and third, strengthening of the bond harmony between the police and public. I would explain on these further. Next slide. So when you see the first pillar being the security aspect, so all these important religious structures in the district were identified. Close to around 4,500 structures were identified, and they were all security audited thoroughly, in the sense whether these temples are accessible from the main road, or how far are they from the nearby locality, and how prone are they to attacks, and how popular are they, what are the footfall for these temples, and do these temples have enough lighting, and do they have a compound wall, or do they have proper access control mechanisms. So from all these angles, these religious structures were audited, and accordingly solutions were proposed to beef up the security. And the second thing in this would be the participation of the local people to make sure that the security arrangements which are put in place are maintained, and they're also controlled by the local people. So as a part of the security audit, again, we've set up CC cameras. Around 5,000 cameras were set up with the participation of local people. And our regular beat system, which usually is designed for local crime and property offences, was redesigned keeping in view of these temple offences. And all these 5,000 odd temples were geotagged, and they were monitored from the district office as to linking it up with the response mechanism of a dial 100. So whenever the offense reported, response time would be shortened by applying these geo coordinates, and that way the response would be better. Next slide. Another important pillar as part of this program was eliciting the support of the local people and the administration, and the main linchpin being the formation of village defense squads. So what does a village defense squad do? So as part of this village defense squads, we've recruited local youth apart from different community, spanning different communities, and with the proper thoroughly checking their credentials, and along with them local village elders and our local police officers would be part of these village defense squads. So their responsibility principally being that they would be patrolling their villages during the odd hours, and a roster was prepared along with the participation of the local youth as well, So wherein some of them would be literally be sleeping near these structures, because unless there is an end to this cycle of rumor spreading by making sure the presence of the police and local people are there, we thought that this cycle would not end. So these village defense squads formed a major component of our strategy. And then the regular peace committees, which were formed at local level, sub-divisional and district level, were monitored. And these village defense squads were formed at a panchayat level. So it means in every panchayat, you'll be having a defense squad comprising of local people, and the local religious structures, responsibility of protecting them and securing the infrastructure which is put in place already will be resting on these squads, and they shall be monitored by the local station officer along with the sub-regional police officer and along with the district police officer. And then there are a series of awareness campaigns that were generated among the local people to be aware and alert to this new phenomena of desecrating the religious structures and then spreading the rumors using social media to give us information if at all they find any new inhabitants who are coming into the place, or if they see any suspicious activity by anybody. In the span of around 6 months, we could form close to 2,200 defense squads comprising from local revenue administration, electricity department, and across spectrum, whoever were found to be responsible and whoever were willing. And 1,500 peace committees were formed as part of this program. And another important component, as I told, is about strengthening the bond harmony between the police and the local people. It's done as part of Palanidra, which literally means that sleepovers in villages. So local officers, they would be invariably be visiting every village on at least one single day. They would spend the night there. They would interact with local people, discuss their problem, along with them, reorient them to this new strategy of the miscreants, trying to disturb the communal harmony that's prevailing in these villages as well. Next slide. So this solution, actually, I'm very happy to announce that ever since we've put up this strategy in place, it took a good hard 6 months for us to go through the process, form these squads, identify the temples, security structures, and conducting of security audits, and installing of CC cameras. I've told you close to 5,000 cameras, and I would want to bring to notice that the resources were pooled by the local people themselves. So an amount of ownership was given to them, in the sense that it's their religious structures which they have to secure. And these cameras were set up by their own participation, and the police department acted as a facilitator by bringing up the electricity department, bringing up the army department, bringing up the revenue department to provide the necessary help for the local people. And that actually resulted in stopping of this communal dissipation of these structures. I just highlight the outcomes of this solution. As you can clearly see that I'll further elaborate on how many cases we could detect, but this is a summary of what actually has happened on ground. As I've told you, close to 2,000 committees were formed, 5,000 cameras were installed, and for majority of temples, there were new structures, new access control mechanisms were put up in place. Public participation was elicited, and there were a lot of offenses could be detected as well. Next slide. So this is one important case which I would want to highlight in a police station called Girinello, which is close to like 10 kilometers from the headquarters. There was a major attack on a temple, and the photographs were taken. It was viral on internet that particular religious structure was attacked by a particular community, and then religious tensions were heightened. But owing to our program of defense squads and the security arrangements in place, we could nab these people within a week, and then we could later on find out that their intention was a part of the treasure trove racket, thinking that there are some hidden wealth in these ancient old temples. So they dug up the idol, and that was their idea. But nevertheless, initially it was not floated in this direction. The initial idea was that it was done as a part of communal agenda, and then a lot of other things were attributed. And next slide. This is another example where our strategy actually paid off, in the sense one of these, again, ancient temple deities ornaments were stolen, and which were actually nabbed within a period of 3 days, again based on the local inputs and the technical initiatives that we've taken. All in all, in the year 2020-21, close to 21 temple-related offences were reported and were detected successfully. So the moment when people could see that these offences have been detected and that the offenders are being taken to task, nobody could again think that this idea of low cost, high return strategy of vitiating the atmosphere has changed. Now they understood that the cost of indulging in this sort of crime is very high because the police is very active, the local people are very active to this, and that any attempt on the part of these miscreants would backfire upon them in the sense of getting arrested and sent into the prison. Next. So I've just highlighted some of the innovative aspects of the entire program. As I've told you, I think never before project on this scale was attempted in the state, where close to 5,000 temples were security audited, placing them into high risk category, a medium risk category, and a low risk category, and making sure that all these temples have proper, and temples and along with them other religious structures, mosques and churches, which are prone to these attacks by miscreants, were properly now secured with electronic surveillance and with proper access control measures, and along with them local awareness also, that because majority of people don't know actually that there is a temple up above the hill and some small incident happens there and then everybody goes panic about it. But rather now local people are aware that there is a structure close by and it could be prone to attack, so they better pay attention to what's happening there as well. And second, these village defense squads have been very, very handy to us in the sense they were continuously giving us intelligence regarding movement of people around these structures or any suspicious movement of new people in the area. And along with them, the coordination between the police and other departments have become very seamless owing to these defense squads. And the beat system was again reorganized into temple beats. That's what we call them here. That the regular police beat system, which as I briefed before, that which is designed to tackle the regular conventional crime, is now regeared and reoriented towards this temple offences, and it's integrated into our overall crime patrol. And then CC cameras installation, close to around 5 crore worth cameras were actually installed in these places. And the Palanidra programs were a hit among the local youth, especially with the local Kannada just going and doing a sleepover in the villages, gave a lot of semblance of confidence among the local people that the police is accessible and the police actually is there for them and it's working for them. And the geotagging of all places, again, this is integrated into our response mechanism, wherein any place, it could be reached within minutes time with proper tagging of these religious places. Next. Some of these components of Operation Samaikhya could be replicated on a bigger scale across temple, because irrespective of whichever place it is, evoking communal tension is the most easiest thing to do in a country, because we hold religion very close to our heart. And for any offender or any person who want to create a communal tension, it's fairly easy, because you can just vandalize a very remote temple, take a video of it, put it on social media, and just make it go viral, and that's all. That would take care of the rest. So this strategy could be applied across the states wherever there are problems going to communal tensions. And others also for the gated communities and colonies. Currently I think there is ghettoization of communities as well, where everybody wants to stay away from the mainstream city by ghettoizing themselves, but they ought to know that what's happening beyond those gated communities by in the form of forming of these squads or local groups, where there would be continuous interaction with the local administration and the local people as well, and letting them know what's happening around. And again, these studies could be applied for thefts on highways and robberies, dacoities, which have been reported across the country. Next, please. So this is one of the some of the newspaper articles regarding the work that has been done by our district in nabbing these groups, and we received quite an amount of upward appreciation from the local people as well as from the state government as well, because we have been taking these novel steps and a continuous follow-up for the past 6 months, because this didn't happen overnight. There was a lot of perseveration that has to be done, because the challenges were enormous before us when we started this program in October last year. There was lethargy among the local people first of all, there was no understanding on how to go about stopping this, because there are so many structures wherever you can see them, and how to integrate them, identify them, do an audit of them, and put them into categories, bring the local people into this program, motivate them, ensure that, because this can't be a one-off program, it should be a continuous process. So that needed a lot of engaging with the local people, because initial days, while the process was underway, there were again attacks, there were again rumors being spread, there was again a lot of tension that was prevailing. But then we had to stuck to a job that this solution would put an end to this cycle of rumor mongering and evoking of communal tensions. And I'm glad to say that 6 months down the line, I think we've reached a place where any sort of attempt by any offender would bring them into the book, probably in a matter of a week or two. Next. This is again.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Please conclude the presentation.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Mohit. So that's just pretty much this is a newspaper article regarding our work that's been done. Thank you. I conclude. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to showcase our project Samaikhya. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. You are handling a very sensitive subject, which has quite a wide range of ramifications and challenges, especially when you not only deal with the religious sentiments, but you also deal with these sentiments arousing communal tensions also. And see, the whole, taking Chittoor district specifically, this kind of vandalism is only in a couple of years only. It wasn't there that much. What could be the reason for upsurge of such incidents in Chittoor district in the recent couple of years? Number two is that, you see, you have very effectively, very necessarily involved the local youth, people in various committees, from the village to the community level and to the even higher level of groups. But what is the interaction and understanding these groups in a situation where the religious communist heat is on? Are you helping them to have a dialogue and understanding in such situations prior to such incidents, or after the incidents, or during the incidents? Number two is, see, the rumor mongers or the miscreants. How do you identify? Local people do help you, but if you identify, are they kept under surveillance as to where they can again, ignite problems? So, and the incidents that are taking place suggest that there is obvious someone is doing with an agenda. So it is a deep-rooted, probably the political aspect also. How do you handle such a complex situation? And I appreciate that you have taken this thing, and last 6 months things are under control. But I would like you to reflect more on this, because this is going to be, this need to be understood by others as well. You are facing the similar situation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words, and you were very on the spot when you asked those questions on why do we see an increasing trend of late in the country, and or especially in our district or in our state. And second, being how are we engaging the local youth? Because is it pre-incident or post-incident? And third, are there any political inclinations to it? Sir, if you permit, if I can be candid, ever since the new government has formed in our state, somehow because politically it is seen as if the chief minister belongs to a particular religion, so attempt was made to project as if he is against another religion, and that's how this attempt has become an easy attempt for the miscreants to attack the image of the government. Because if you see, apart from two major incidents, majority of the incidents were very sporadic, in the sense some remotely inaccessible temple was again attacked, videos taken, again spread on the internet, made viral, and then the next day it's alleged that the chief minister belongs to a particular government. That's why he is letting these things happen. So this could happen to any place, as you've said. And second, sir, and as you've said, these rumor mongers, what are we dealing with them? Yes, they are arrested, and a sheet is being maintained on these people to track their movement, even after the release from the prison, as to where exactly are they moving, and the data is being shared centrally also with the chief office, where if at all they move from one particular district to another district, also their movements are continuously tracked. And third, coming to the local youth, by and large, I feel that a majority of the local people are peace-loving people. They're not involved in causing these disturbances. They would want their community to be, their local village, their local city to be at peace, so that they can carry on with their day-to-day work. There are these few 1% of the troublemakers whom we need to fix them and catch them. So when our intentions are very clear, when the district administration, as a police officer, when I show that I don't have any partiality towards any religion or any organization, that I am here to uphold the Constitution of India, that I am here to uphold the religious rights of every group, when I give that image from my side, then people would actually see through our intentions, that whether am I working for a particular party, or am I working for a particular group, or am I working for the Constitution of India. When we could instill the confidence among the local youth and the local people, yes, they believed us, because it took a lot of persuasion from the district officer, from the sub-regional officers, to go to the people to explain to them that, see, this is done not by you or not by me, it's somebody else who would want to create a distrust between both of us. Let's just work together so that this menace could be stopped. And 6 months down the line, now when we go to villages, the response is amazing. Everybody is actually excited to the prospect that, yes, this problem, which for a while threatened the social fabric of this district, was now again restored with the efforts of the police.
Yes, sir. Otherwise, Chittoor being one of the important religious places, Tirupati being there.
Yes, sir.
So now, see, you have gone through and understood the entire situation from the day one when the upsurge was there till now, which has been, controlled. Maybe a report on this from your side as to how your understanding from your department as to how and where it's triggered and how your control will do a great deal of service to the rest of the areas. That will be help great deal.
Absolutely, it will be a privilege on our part to document this and share it with everybody else.
Thank you. It's an excellent job, and your action and your proactive vision, and things will be even more challenging as dynamics takes place.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Thanks a lot for your time, and thank you again for the organizers for giving us the opportunity to make our presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, you have done quite a good job, and it's an innovative approach, because normally when you talk to people, they're very scared and apprehensive of police. They don't trust, in a way. By getting them the village youth and the community and having the squares and all that, it's kind of instilling a confidence on the people whom we are supposed to be protecting. Okay, so I think this is something which can be replicated elsewhere. And as you rightly pointed out, not necessarily only for religious places of vandalism of that, but even for road accidents and the robberies. There are a lot of robberies happening in the highways. So if the hotspots, like you have done a surveillance using geotagging and all that, you use technology as well as played on the people's power. So both together, so that the together is a lethal weapon for you. So that's why you have been successful. If you can actually replicate this in elsewhere, you know, like you highlighted about road robbery and accidents. Similarly, other such police law and order situation can be tackled by these. Like, for example, Kumbh Mela or such, they are already using it, but by smaller ones. Kumbh Mela is a very big one, but there are a lot of religious functions happening otherwise also. So if this particular methodology can be replicated, put it as a case study, and get advertised, people will be. And also one more good thing which I found in your project is newspapers are highlighting. Once the newspaper highlight and say that police has solved this case, and or rather police has solved all the cases in the last 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, like that, people will be scared to take attempted it. So basically you have to highlight these cases more and more. Very good.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for the valuable suggestions. Yes, ma'am. Ever since media, actually, initially it worked against in the sense that, as I've told you, any small property offense in a temple or in a relay structure was shown because nobody knows what has happened. Media used to project it as if so much of this is happening. But once we started putting brakes on this, and when we started doing the work, then again the media again picked up the story saying that yes, good things have been done. As you point out, there's a lot of confidence among people that yes, police is here to control situation, and that they can come to us in case of any issue of this sort.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. Very good.